welcome our next storyteller, Aliza Denome.
So I'm 14 years old. It's the middle of the night, and my eyes are struggling to adjust to the darkness as I look around for what woke me. I hear her before I see her. My best friend Lisa is standing directly beside my bed. Her hands are covering half of her face, and there's blood seeping between her fingers. Her nose appears to be heavily bleeding, and I sit up and clumsily throw the covers off. I have both legs over the side of the bed before I actually look up at her and focus. I finally hear what she's saying. Help me. Something's wrong. You didn't sleep over last night. In the darkness, her eyes are glowing, and I see them narrow now, just like a flash of annoyance. Shh, there's no time for that. You need to get up. Come with me, help, now. No, I don't think so. I'm pretty happy in the sanctuary of my bed. I don't tell her that, but I just want her to leave. And so I'm holding my breath as she slowly starts backing towards the door. There's just so much blood. When she reaches it, she just leaves. And as soon as she's gone, I lie back and I'm overcome with questions. What just happened? But also, should I go after her? Is she okay? Is that her? I'm still processing this 30-second interaction on a loop when I fall back to sleep. The next morning I wake up and this cold chill moves through me again, and I know it wasn't a dream. Lisa is nowhere in the house, so reasonably I call her. Are you alive? She is, and now we're both thoroughly creeped out, but I'm feeling more relieved as I sit down to breakfast. It's still weighing at me though, and I recount it back to my mother. She listens with this weird kind of look on her face and just says, well, that makes sense. Things have contacted you before. I just thought that was over. I mean, it's true. My parents would tell me stories of when I was much younger. Like this time that I was 3, we were on a family trip to a church and shrine in Midland. And I have no memory of this, but when we got there, I introduced myself to them as Claude and proceeded to give them a tour of the area, including the church, which I stood in the center of and told them was my home. They didn't start getting truly creeped out until I pointed to a bunch of statues outside and said that they were all dead. And according to the plaques, they were. They'd all been burned alive and would later become martyrs. So back in the kitchen, my mom just shrugs and says, sounds like you had a visitor last night. This might have been the least comforting thing I could have heard while coming to terms with this creepy, wounded apparition of my best friend. And I decided 2 things. 1, never tell my mother any of this stuff again. And 2, if something is visiting me, it's disguising itself as someone I love, baiting me. And I don't like that at all. 2 nights later, it's the middle of the night, and my eyes are struggling again with the darkness. I feel her before I see her. My mother is kneeling beside my bed, prodding me with a spoon. Aliza, get up. It's time to take your medicine. I'm groggy, sitting up. I'm tangled in my sheets. She's standing up and beckoning to me. Let's go. Something's wrong. I'm not sick. She senses my hesitation and moves forward. Aliza, get up now. No. Nope, no. Thank you. Go. It seems to take a lifetime before she moves backwards towards the door. She's still clutching the spoon, and she leaves. This time I feel stronger. Like by telling it to go, I was firmly closing the door on whatever was out there, or worse, what was trying to come through the other side. 6 months ago, I was back in my hometown visiting Lisa's mother, Renee. I was receiving my first Reiki treatment, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a form of massage where there's no actual physical contact, it's just energy healing. After the process, she's obviously shaken up. Liza? So, you had a visitor? During that, this elderly woman appeared at your side here. She was old. She had white hair, glasses, and a really beautiful smile. She told me that you were carrying a great burden on your shoulders, and I had helped to lift it. And while I worked, she just smiled down at you. She told me that you're going to be okay. And when I was done, she just walked the door and left. I was skeptical during this story. But also, why would she lie? The details were so vivid that I went home and immediately sent her photos of both my deceased grandmothers, despite them not matching her description at all. She did tell me that I had to thank whoever it was. This was a gift. The next day, I'm walking to work. You know how you see those same people every single day? They're like the extras in the movie of your life. So today I see my absolute favorite. It's this little old woman. I had seen her for the first time about a month before. She had waved at me with so much enthusiasm that I thought it had to be a mistake. I waved back because I'm not a monster. But this became a daily thing that I looked forward to. So today, for the first time, she's crossed over and is shuffling up towards me. So I stop, I take my headphones out. She stopped and put her hand on my arm, looks up at me, and her smile is even more radiant up close. But her eyes are worried as they search mine. Are you going to be okay? I laughed, but the question was so sincere that I had to stop and think. Yes, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. She nodded, smiling, and the light kind of returned to her eyes. She gave my arm one more squeeze before she continued on her way. And I turned to watch her go, this tiny old woman with white hair, glasses, and a beautiful smile. I never saw her again. But if this is someone visiting me, I think I'm okay with this one. She doesn't disguise herself as anyone else. She appears in broad daylight, and she brings only warmth with her. I thank her every day.